What is up, postal besties? It is your girl, Creole Barbie with USPS Blogs. If you're new to my channel, hello, welcome. My name is Creole Barbie. You are tapped in with an very first episode of Postal Connection. This is where you will get all the news, information, and updates when it comes to becoming a postal worker. I'm going to fill you in on some really great things and exciting things and things that we just don't talk about here in the USPS community. Follow for more content because you don't want to miss it. In the meantime, if it's your first time visiting me, I am the creator of USPS Blogs. If you're going to become a postal bestie, all you have to do is go ahead and give me a high five and slap that subscribe button. This is going to be an amazing episode. Be sure to comment in the comment section below if you have any questions pertaining to the information that I have here on the channel. Judging by the title of this video, I know that's the reason why you clicked on it. What they don't tell you about being a mail processor at the USPS. I'm going to give you guys some information that I hope you could take with you in this video because it is things that they just don't tell you. I've been at the USPS now for 5 years as a mail processor, and it is a definite reason why I have not stopped being a processor just yet. Not only the position can be beneficial and rewarding when it comes to compensation and how much you're actually paid as a processor, but it's also because I enjoy the freedom. However, I'm going to go more in depth what they don't tell you as a mail processor at the USPS. So let's go. Working as a mail processor can not only be unique and challenging, here are some aspects that might not be immediately apparent. Well, the number one thing that a lot of people don't realize is the physical demand. Being a mail processor takes a lot of repetitive tasks. Some of that repetitive tasks we pay for later because we develop things in our hands called carpal tunnel. Yikes, it hurts. That is a part of being a processor. So here I'm going to go more in detail for you guys to understand the certain repetitive tasks that we have to face. Mail processing involves repetitive tasks such as sorting, scanning, and bundling mail, which can lead to fatigue and strain. Number 2, standing and walking. Mail processors often stand for long periods of time and walk repetitively to sort and process mail. Number 3, lifting and bending. Mail processors may need to lift heavy mail bags, trays, or packages and bend to retrieve mail from low-lying areas. Mail processors just don't work in letter automation. They just don't work in FSM. They just don't work in an APBS machine. But these are everything that's combined together, the clerk craft. Now, there are various other things that we have out there. One thing I will say, as a clerk, it's so diverse. There's a lot of things, especially at the plant, you can do under the mail processor position. Keep that in mind. So now that I told you guys about all of the task aspects that you will face as a mail processor, let's jump along to the work environment. The work environment, number 1, is fast-paced. It's very fast-paced. You cannot be a sloth. If you have trouble with moving quickly, expeditiously, then honey, this wouldn't be for you. Number 1, fast-paced and dynamic mail processing facilities can be fast-paced and dynamic with tight deadlines and high volumes of mail to process. In the clerk craft at the plant can be very intense because you have to get these things done within a time limit. These are people's bills, advertisements, whatever the case may be. This is the customer's mail. They want their mail on time. If we don't satisfy the customer, someone else will. You want your stuff on time, whether it's your check or whatever the case may be sure to process this stuff at the time that it needs to be done. Number 2, noise distractions. Mail processing facilities can be noisy with machinery and conversations, creating distractions. It's very, very loud in there. If you are a person that don't like loud noises, I do suggest you to wear earplugs because it is extremely noisy. Number 3 is security protocols. Mail processors must adhere to strict security protocols, including scanning and tracking mail and reporting suspicious packages. It is important that you guys understand the security protocols. They tell you guys about a lot of this stuff in your orientation. Also, you learn as you go. Your trainer pretty much break things down for you as well. If you don't know, ask questions. This is to ensure that you're not only doing your job properly, but you are doing it safely and you're following and adhering to safety protocols. Another thing what they don't tell you about being a mail processor is emotional demands. Sometimes it can be high stress, especially when they're yanking. I need my mail out. What time are you going to be done? Do you hear me? That can cause a lot of stress, especially if you're not used to it. Mail processors can experience high stress levels due to tight deadlines, heavy workloads, the need to maintain accuracy and attention to detail. It's important that you pay attention to detail. It's important that you do things properly and accurately, because if you don't, if you send something out or place something where it don't belong, it costs the post office money for someone to drive to that location, drive it all the way back to the appropriate location, then to drive it to where it needs to go. This is why when people complain about, oh, they having to cut back on the wages and overtime, a lot of times it's because we're not doing our job properly. Understand that. Catching the mistakes when it occurs. Yes, we're human. I still to this day can make mistakes, especially if I'm tired. But the key is to catching a mistake before it goes too far. Number 2 for the emotional demands would be repetitive tasks can be mentally taxing. The repetitive nature of mail processing tasks can be mentally taxing and lead to boredom or frustration. If you are a person who gets bored very quickly with things, then yes, it is true, you will not like it. It's the same thing day in and day out. Now, one of the good things is sometimes you may be slammed with a lot of mail, sometimes you may not have enough mail. However, it's still the same thing. So you have to find ways to occupy your boredom. Me, myself, I like to listen to a lot of podcasts while I'm at work. So I'm working and I'm also being able to hear different conversations and kind of take my mind to a different space outside of where it's currently at and still pay attention to detail. But once you get the job down pat, you can pretty much just go in your own little world with whatever's in your ear. Now, if you have an installment that don't allow you guys to have Bluetooth or cell phones, my prayers are with you. Number 3 will be customer interactions. Mail processors may interact with customers, which can be challenging, especially when dealing with difficult or dissatisfied customers. Now, as a mail processor, I will say this. You don't typically deal with customers. However, customer service is important, and one way you provide the best customer service is to assure that that person's mail is being delivered to their home on time. Number 2, handle people's mail with care. I know things happen. At times these machines can chew up the mail, but no different methods to where you can process a check and it don't get ripped. Or if it gets stuck into a belt, know how to properly take it out of the belt to where it don't get ripped. If it does get ripped, place it in the bag that says, "We're sorry, our mail machines destroyed your mail." And it's not what that says. It's basically giving you an idea what it says, that it tore your mail up. We apologize for any inconvenience this will bring. These are things that will kind of help with your customer service capabilities. At times, there's been times where me at the plant, there have been people that will drive up and say, "Hey, can I deliver a package here?" No, you can't deliver a package here. However, let me relocate you to the closest post office for you to deliver your package, Miss Ma'am or Mr. Sir. That's displaying customer service. I wanted to talk about opportunities for growth. Now, one thing that I do like about being a mail processor, that is always career advancement opportunities. I see a lot of people that come in and they flourish and they want to achieve other avenues for themselves, and they go into management, they become supervisors, they get EAS positions. So there's always something to do for you to grow. I also made a video on how you can level up where you are now and get into an EAS position. Check that video out. I will have that video link in the description box below. Career advancement with experience and training, mail processors can move into supervisory or management roles or specialize in specific areas such as mail sorting or customer service. Number 2 would be skill development. Mail processors can develop valuable skills such as attention to detail, time management, and customer service. That is true. When you are working as a mail processor and you do it for quite some time, you do develop skills. You know how to multitask. You do know how to be quick thinking. You do know how to pay attention to detail. You do know how to fix certain situations without having management there. At times, management may ask you questions or have you go help someone else who are struggling. So there's always opportunities for career development. Tips for success. So tips for success will be as follows. Number 1, stay organized and focused. It's important to stay organized and focused, especially when you're working by yourself. A lot of people ask me, how can I excel as a mail processor or working in letter automation? That's number 1, is to be organized. If you have everything that's junky and in the way and is not properly organized, you're not setting yourself up for success. It's going to be extremely hard. In letter automation particularly, you can be working by yourself 90% of the time if they're understaffed, like my facility. Therefore, it's important to stay on your game by being organized. Number 2, the reason why it's important to be organized is because if you don't get something done and you have to leave it for another shift, at least they know where you are by how you keep it organized. I've been in situations where I jump behind people to help them out, or maybe 2 or 3 left and now I have to go behind them and finish off where they left, and I'm looking like, what the heck is this? I'm going to give you an example what your machine should look like and what it shouldn't look like, okay? Now, this is what it should look like. And then this, I bet not ever see it looking like this, okay? Tip for success would be communication skills. Clearly communicate with your co-workers, supervisors, and customers to ensure efficient and effective mail processing. You guys got to be able to pass on messages. Sometimes if I know I left mail on a machine that's unfinished, I don't do it often, but there's times that I have. I write notes. If I'm going on my overtime break and I know my direct supervisor is gone, now 2 or 3 just got there, I write messages. Creole Barbie is on OT break. T2, let them know what tour I'm on. These are ways for you guys to communicate clearly and effectively. So when they walk past, okay, I know that this person hadn't left, so I'll have another person go help them because they're on overtime. And when they leave, no one will be here to replace them. So let me get my replacement now. Communication is everything, you guys. All you have to do is open up your mouth and talk about it. And that's something that I find that a lot of people at the post office fail at, is communication. A lot of things could get solved if they communicate better. I hope this video helps you. If you guys have any questions, comment in the comment section below. Like this video, slap a high 5 if you hadn't done so, to stay connected and become a postal bestie. In the meantime, you guys, thank you for watching. As always, I love you and I'm signing out.